Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of 1998 Represent. On this episode, we are taking a look at Mezzanine by Massive Attack. This is their third studio album. Let me crack my notes open here. I just got my notes right in here. There we go. It's released April 20th, 1998. Again, it's their third studio album out of, I believe, they've done five of these, five albums so far. This one took on a darker style than their some of their other work. I was kind of only vaguely familiar with them up until recently. I don't think I've listened to their other albums, but decided to listen to this one for this series because it was released in 1998. It's a pretty good album. It's got a lot of really good production on there. There is some really interesting lyrics on some of the songs. I want to say the album comes in at just a little bit over an hour. It's like an hour and 3 minutes. I listened to it, I think definitely two times over the last week just to kind of prepare for this episode. And it's an awesome album. I think they describe it as it's definitely like electronica. There's like trip hop. It was like trip hop and electronic is kind of like how it was described. Apparently, this album took on a darker tone than some of their previous albums had, and I don't know if they've stayed with that tone on their fourth and fifth albums. But this one, according to my research, was just darker overall compared to their other albums. It's their most successful studio album. It topped the charts in the UK, Australia, I believe Ireland, and New Zealand. And there was a lot of stress, I guess, involved in creating this album to the point where it threatened to kind of break up the band. I believe one member actually left the band after, or right before this album came out. So I think kind of going in that darker direction was definitely caused a lot of disagreements within the group. The cover, which is just awesome looking, apparently it's a stag beetle, and I think they photographed it at the London Nature and Science Museum, or it's something like that. It's kind of but apparently it's a stag beetle, and it looks nasty. It looks awesome. It's got sharp bits all over it. It's just a really cool album cover. Let's see here. So it was trip hop and electronica. Basically, it got critically acclaimed. It made the kind of best albums of 1998 lists, or it made a lot of the kind of end of year list for some of the best albums of that year. I was reading a list of some of those albums, and most of the albums that we've covered so far on this series have been on that list. So Neutral Milk Hotel was on that list. Ray of Light from Madonna was on there. I think we've covered both Beastie Boys and DMX. All those albums have been on some of these best of 1998 lists from various genres. But this is electronica. It's basically really dark, not really dark, but dark electronica. Some of the lyrics are there's some where there's a lot of lyrics in some of the songs. There's some where there's just a little bit, but it works really well with just the kind of the sound that they went with on this album. So some of the the minimalistic lyrics on some of the songs work really, really well. They did something cool in 2018 for the 20th anniversary of this album. According to my research, it says they basically made DNA or synthetic DNA off of this album. So I think they took the album or the music, and then it says it was coded into synthetic DNA for a 20th anniversary, which is 925,000 short strands of DNA, and that was put into 5,000 glass beads. So I guess it's they took the thing didn't really explain how they did it or why they did it, but they basically took the album and converted it to DNA, which is just kind of insane sounding. It sounds really cool. We're gonna take a look at the track listing here. Let me pull that up really quick. Alright, so here is the track listing. It is I believe 11 songs, but the Japanese version has one extra song on it, and then they did a 20th anniversary reissue, which I think is the album plus a second disc that has like some remixes on it. But off of the studio album, the way it was originally, track one is Angel. Track two is Rising Sun, but it's all one word, and it's SON and not sun, not SUN. So Rising Sun, all one word, and sun is spelled like SON, not SUN. Track three is Teardrop. Track four is Inertia Creeps. Track five is Exchange. Track six is Dissolved Girl. Track seven is Man Next Door. Track eight is Black Milk. Track nine is Mezzanine. Track 10 is Group 4, and track 11 is Exchange. The Japanese version has, and I only listened to the original kind of studio album, so the 11 track version. The Japanese version adds another track for 12 track, which is Super Predators, and it's a Mad Professor remix. If you got the 20th anniversary, you got, I believe, the straight up, probably at least the 11 main tracks, and then a second disc of remixes, because it says it is the reissue disc, Massive Attack versus Mad Professor Part 2, which is the mixtapes from 98, and that is Metal Banshee, which is a remix, Angel Dust remix, Teardrop, but I'm not sure if I'm going to pronounce this correctly, but Maz Rooney dub mix, or dub one, Inertia Creeps, which is the Floating on Dubwise, Rising Sun, Setting, Sun Dub 2 mix. There's an Exchange, which is the Mountain Steppers. Yeah, Mountain Steppers dub. Wire is the Leaping Dub version of that. And then Group 4, which is the Security Forces dub. And those were released for the 20th anniversary release back in 2018. So that is probably going to do it for this album. If you were into, let me see how even they genre this album. It says it's trip hop and electronica is kind of how it's classified. Or I mean, like, I don't really follow all the like subgenres of like certain like styles, but electronica and trip hop. Definitely worth checking out if you're into that kind of music. Even if you aren't, if you just want to like hear something really interesting, it's a really good album to check it out. I streamed it over, like Apple Music, like listened to it while I was out taking a walk. Listened to it earlier in the week or last week, and then listened to it again this week. But that is going to do it for this album or this video. Again, this week's video was Mezzanine by Massive Attack. Definitely worth checking out. That's going to do it for now. So remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll be back again in a few days with another video. Probably going to be covering either like a movie or a TV show or something from the time period. Don't know exactly what that's going to be just yet, but we'll be back in a few days with that. That's going to do it for now. So thanks again for watching. Take care. Have a good one. See ya.